Have you ever felt a quiet ache, a sort of hollowness, even when you're surrounded by people? Or perhaps you've noticed that getting older sometimes brings with it an unexpected silence, a sense that the world is moving on without you. It's a feeling many of us experience, but few truly talk about openly. We tend to think of loneliness as simply being alone, but that's far too simplistic. The truth is, loneliness in our later years is a complex, often invisible struggle that can deeply impact our health and happiness. It's not just about an empty chair at the dinner table. It's about a deeper disconnect that can creep in, even when we least expect it. This feeling can be painful, leading to a quiet resignation that things are just the way they are as we age. But what if I told you there are hidden truths about this experience? Things that no one really discusses, that once understood, can completely change your perspective and offer a path forward in this video. We're going to uncover 5 of these hidden truths about loneliness in old age. Truths that are often overlooked but are crucial to understanding and overcoming this challenge. And crucially, we'll talk about what you can do about them. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you, a powerful shift in perspective that can truly change everything. Let's dive right into the first hidden truth. And it's perhaps the most misunderstood: loneliness isn't always about being physically alone. It's profoundly about the quality of connection. Think about it for a moment. You might be living in a bustling household, perhaps with adult children or grandchildren, or frequently attending social gatherings, yet still feel an undeniable sense of isolation. This isn't a contradiction. It's a revelation. The core of this truth is that human beings crave meaningful interactions, genuine understanding, and shared emotional spaces, not just physical proximity. We can be surrounded by people, but if those interactions are superficial, if we feel unheard, unvalued, or misunderstood, then the gnawing feeling of loneliness persists. Imagine sitting at a family dinner where everyone is engrossed in their phones, or engaging in conversations that skim only the surface of life, never truly touching on what's deep in your heart. You're physically present, but emotionally, you might feel miles away, or consider attending a seniors club or a community event. You might exchange pleasantries, share a laugh, but if there's no genuine connection, no shared vulnerability, no feeling of truly belonging, then the loneliness can feel even sharper in the crowd. It's like being in a desert and seeing water, but knowing it's just a mirage. So, what can we do when our need is for quality over quantity? The actionable step here is to actively seek out depth in your connections, even if it means having fewer of them. Instead of trying to fill your calendar with every possible social event, try focusing on cultivating 1 or 2 truly meaningful relationships. This might involve initiating deeper conversations with people you already know. Ask open-ended questions. Share a personal story or a quiet thought that's been on your mind, rather than just discussing the weather or what's on TV. It takes courage to be vulnerable, but it's in that vulnerability that true connection flourishes. Perhaps there's an old friend you've lost touch with. A simple phone call, a handwritten letter, or even a video call could rekindle a connection that offers the depth you're seeking. Look for groups or activities that align with your true passions and interests, whether it's a book club, a walking group, a volunteer opportunity, or a class on a subject you love. When you connect with people over shared interests, the foundation for deeper, more meaningful bonds is naturally laid. These aren't just social outings, they're opportunities to find kindred spirits, people who truly understand and appreciate the real you. It's about consciously choosing to invest your emotional energy where it can yield genuine connection, rather than dispersing it thinly across many superficial interactions. Now, let's transition to the second hidden truth, which is quite a profound one. Loneliness can actually become a deeply ingrained habit, not just a temporary circumstance. This might sound surprising, but think about it. Over the years, especially as life changes, perhaps after retirement, or when friends and loved ones pass on, or children move away. It's easy to fall into a pattern of withdrawing. It's not just that social opportunities disappear. It's that we sometimes stop actively seeking them out, or even unconsciously avoid them. This can happen for a variety of reasons: past hurts that make us hesitant to reach out again, a growing shyness that makes initiating contact feel daunting, or even a subtle fear of being a burden on others. We might decline invitations more often than we accept them, finding comfort in the routine of staying home. What starts as a temporary retreat can, over time, solidify into a default behavior. It becomes easier to say no, to avoid the effort of getting ready, going out, and engaging. We might tell ourselves that no one really wants to see me anyway, or I'm fine on my own, not realizing that these thoughts are reinforcing a pattern of isolation. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. The more we withdraw, the less practice we get at social interaction, the more awkward or anxious we feel, and the more likely we are to withdraw again. Breaking this habit requires conscious effort and a commitment to taking tiny, consistent steps. Think of it like building a new muscle. You start small and gradually increase the intensity. One powerful approach is to practice what I call social courage. This doesn't mean becoming the life of the party overnight. It means committing to one small social interaction each day, even if it feels uncomfortable. This could be as simple as striking up a conversation with the cashier at the grocery store, complimenting a stranger's hat, or sending a quick text message to an acquaintance you haven't spoken to in a while. The goal is to gently push against the habit of withdrawal, to remind yourself that social interaction is a skill that can be practiced and improved. Another strategy is to reframe social interactions not as obligations or potential sources of disappointment, but as opportunities for connection and personal growth. Start with low-pressure environments where the stakes feel lower. Maybe it's joining a walking group where the focus is on the walk, not intense conversation. Or attending a community lecture where you can just listen if you choose to. The key is consistency. Each small step, no matter how insignificant it seems, helps to dismantle the old habit and build new pathways towards connection. It's about gently coaxing yourself out of the comfort zone of isolation and back into the vibrant world of human connection. One conscious decision at a time. This consistent, gentle effort over time will slowly but surely change the ingrained habit of withdrawal into a new habit of engagement. Now that we've delved into how loneliness isn't just about being alone, but about connection quality, and how it can become a deeply ingrained habit, let's move on to the third hidden truth, which often goes unacknowledged. Society frequently romanticizes independent aging, and in doing so, inadvertently promotes isolation. We live in a culture that highly values self-sufficiency and independence, and rightly so. To a degree, we celebrate stories of older adults who live alone, manage everything themselves, and seem to need no one. The narrative is often about being strong, resilient, and never being a burden. While independence is a wonderful quality and something many of us strive to maintain, this societal emphasis can sometimes be misinterpreted to mean that genuine human connection, and even interdependence, is a sign of weakness or a failure to be truly independent. This can lead to a subtle pressure to always appear self-sufficient, to never ask for help, and to avoid situations where one might seem reliant on others. Imagine the pride we often feel in saying, "I did it all myself," or "I don't want to bother anyone." This admirable sense of personal capability can, paradoxically, become a barrier to forming and maintaining the very connections that nourish us. We might shy away from joining a carpool, asking a neighbor for a small favor, or even accepting an offer of help, all in the name of maintaining our perceived independence. This intense focus on not needing anyone can subtly push us further into isolation. As we inadvertently build walls around ourselves rather than bridges to others, we internalize the message that needing support or companionship is a sign of frailty, when in reality, It's a fundamental human need that enriches life at every stage. To counter this, we need to redefine what true independence looks like in our later years. It's not about never needing anyone. It's about having the freedom to choose when and how we connect. And recognizing that interdependence is a strength, not a weakness. It's about understanding that asking for help, or simply enjoying the company of others, isn't a diminishment of our self-worth, but rather an enhancement of our lives. An actionable step here is to consciously embrace interdependence. Start by offering help to others where you can, perhaps sharing a meal you've cooked, offering a listening ear, or sharing your wisdom on a particular topic. This act of giving can open the door for others to offer back, creating a beautiful cycle of mutual support. Then, practice accepting help gracefully when it's offered, and even asking for it when you genuinely need it, even for small things. Instead of saying, "Oh no, I'm fine," when someone offers to help with groceries, try, "That's so kind of you. Thank you. That would actually be a great help." This is not about becoming reliant. It's about fostering genuine connection. Explore communal living options, not necessarily moving into a large facility, but perhaps considering co-housing, or actively participating in community groups where shared activities and mutual support are part of the fabric. Embracing interdependence means understanding that our lives are richer and more fulfilling when we are connected to and supported by others, and that true strength lies in our ability to give and receive care and companionship. Moving on to the fourth hidden truth, which is closely linked to the idea of independence. The fear of being a burden often drives us into isolation. This is a powerful, unspoken fear that many older adults carry. We've often spent our lives caring for others, our children, our spouses, our parents, and the thought of becoming someone else's responsibility can be deeply unsettling. We worry about imposing on our busy children, about inconveniencing friends, or about being seen as needy. This fear can lead us to suppress our true feelings, hide our struggles, and actively avoid reaching out for support or even simple companionship. Imagine feeling unwell, but not calling your child because they have enough on their plate, or needing a ride to an appointment, but deciding to struggle with public transport because you don't want to bother anyone. This fear is often rooted in love and a desire to protect our loved ones. But ironically, it pushes us away from the very people who care about us the most. It creates a silent wall where we internalize our needs and struggles, leading to a profound sense of loneliness. We might believe that we are protecting others by isolating ourselves, when in reality, we are depriving both ourselves and them of the joy and comfort that genuine connection brings. People who care about us often genuinely want to help, and our reluctance to ask can sometimes leave them feeling shut out and hurt, rather than relieved. The antidote to this fear is to challenge this deeply ingrained belief that you are a burden. Most people, especially those who love you, genuinely want to help and feel good when they can contribute to your well-being. Asking for help, far from being a burden, can actually strengthen relationships. It allows others to express their care, to feel valued, and to participate in your life. An actionable step is to start small by communicating your needs clearly and gently, without apology or expectation. Instead of saying, "I don't want to bother you," but try, "I was wondering if you might be able to help me with X. If you have a moment." Offer something in return, even if it's just your gratitude, a shared story, or a promise to listen to their day. Remember, relationships are a two-way street of giving and receiving. You have a lifetime of wisdom, experience, and love to offer. And that is a profound contribution. Another powerful step is to recognize that sometimes the simple act of sharing your feelings, even if it's just saying, "I've been feeling a bit lonely lately," can open up a conversation that leads to connection. Rather than being perceived as a burden, it's about building trust. both in yourself and in those who care about you. To understand that connection involves a healthy exchange of support, not a one-sided imposition. Overcoming this fear allows us to move from a place of perceived inadequacy to one of shared humanity, where mutual support is the natural flow of life. Finally, we arrive at the fifth hidden truth, one that often cuts to the very core of our sense of self in later life. Loneliness in old age frequently stems from a profound lack of purpose or contribution. When we retire from long careers, or when our children are grown and independent, or when the routines that once gave our days structure disappear, a significant void can emerge. For many years, our identity might have been tied to our job, our role as a parent, or our community responsibilities. When these are no longer central, a sense of meaninglessness can subtly creep in. This isn't about being idle. It's about feeling a lack of direction, a sense that we are no longer contributing to something larger than ourselves. Even if we are physically surrounded by people, if we don't feel relevant, valued, or that our existence has a clear purpose, a deep sense of isolation can settle in. It's the feeling of being on the sidelines, watching life unfold without a clear role to play. This can be more isolating than physical solitude, as it attacks the very fabric of our self-worth and our place in the world. Imagine having decades of experience and wisdom, but feeling like there's no outlet for it, no one to share it with, or no cause to apply it to. This is where loneliness takes root. Not from a lack of people, but from a perceived lack of personal significance. The good news is that purpose is not exclusive to youth or professional life. It is something we can cultivate at any age, and it is a powerful antidote to loneliness. The actionable step here is to actively seek out new avenues for purpose and contribution. This could involve volunteering for a cause you care deeply about, whether it's at a local charity, a school, or an animal shelter. Giving back not only helps others, but also provides a profound sense of meaning and connection. Perhaps you could explore mentoring younger individuals, sharing your invaluable life experiences and skills. Think about learning a new skill or rekindling an old hobby that brings you joy and might even connect you with others. This could be anything from learning a new language, taking up painting, joining a community choir, or even mastering a new recipe. These activities not only stimulate your mind, but also create new opportunities for social engagement and a sense of accomplishment. Another powerful path is to think about what unique contributions you can still offer to your family or community. Maybe it's sharing your storytelling abilities, tending a community garden, or simply being a thoughtful listener and wise counsel to those around you. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It can be found in the small, consistent acts of generosity, creativity, and engagement. When we feel that our lives have meaning and that we are contributing in some way, the silent void of loneliness begins to fill with a sense of vitality, relevance, and connection. We've now uncovered 5 hidden truths about loneliness in old age that truly shift our understanding. It's not just about being alone, but about the quality of our connections. It can become a deeply ingrained habit we unconsciously cultivate. Societal idealization of independence can inadvertently push us into isolation. The fear of being a burden often drives us to withdraw. And finally, a profound lack of purpose can leave us feeling isolated even when surrounded by others. These aren't just abstract ideas. They are powerful insights that, when recognized, can empower us to take meaningful steps towards a richer, more connected life. Remember, understanding these truths is the first step towards reclaiming your sense of belonging and joy. You are not alone in experiencing these feelings, and it's never too late to cultivate meaningful connections and live a life filled with purpose. Small changes truly can make a huge difference to your health and happiness. Each conversation you deepen, each step you take to break an old habit, each time you embrace interdependence, each moment you challenge the fear of being a burden, and each new avenue of purpose you explore you are building a stronger, more vibrant life for yourself. These are not just strategies for avoiding loneliness. They are pathways to a more fulfilling and engaged existence. You have so much to offer, and your presence is a gift to the world and to those around you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you felt any of these truths resonate with you in your own life? Or perhaps in the lives of people you know? What steps have you taken? Or what ideas do you have for fostering deeper connections and finding renewed purpose in later life? Please share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your stories could be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. A beacon of hope and understanding. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us know we're creating content that matters to you. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more uplifting and practical advice on living your best life at every age. Thank you for spending this time with me. Live your best life, full of connection, purpose, and joy at every age.